want to talk about. So, Happyland Studio Barbershop, of course, as you know if you follow my channel, I really like barbershop style fragrances. What is a barbershop fragrance? What does this mean? Well, it's difficult to say exactly, actually. It tends to be the type of fragrance that might be smelled in a barbershop in the old days, maybe, or even up till today. There are things like Pinard Clubman in the USA, or perhaps Brut by Fabergé here in the UK, that the barbers do still have in some barbershops, and they spray it on your neck, and they tend to be masculine, kind of soapy, fresh fougere fragrances. And then now we have much more expensive versions of that kind of genre, aromatic fougere type fragrances. Things like Paco Rabanne Pour Homme from the 70s, Azzaro Pour Homme are generally regarded as barbershop fragrances, but it's a little bit confusing. Generally, you're going to have a smell that is fresh, clean and masculine, probably a lot of lavender in there, possibly some oak moss and tonka type accords, and it might smell a little bit reminiscent of shaving foam and that kind of thing. So it's a very manly, yet fresh and clean and well groomed type of scent, and as I say, one that I'm very much a big fan of. I like things like Rive Gauche Pour Homme from Yves Saint Laurent, Invasion Barbar from MDCI Parfums, Milano Cento Him, and this is another one now from Happyland Studio that I think can take its rightful place as a really great performing barbershop style scent.
So you get signature scent. This is the Happyland Signature. Now, I'm a little biased because if you watch my videos, you know that I love tobacco. So it is a really nice, rich, smooth tobacco scent, perfectly balanced. I get hints of sweet honey, and it's got light, and when I say light, it's detectable, but it wasn't, if you didn't tell me what the fruit notes were, I probably wouldn't have been able to guess. I would have guessed there was some type of fruit in it, but it's light blueberry. However, actually, I take that back. It has an apple pie, which I do detect the apple pie aroma. So it's almost like a nice, fresh cooked apple pie, not heavily sweet. So by no means is this like a really, gross sweet fragrance. The sweetness is nicely balanced with that tobacco, which is just perfect. So this is the Happyland Signature. This was my favorite by far. Love tobacco scents, and they really did a nice job making this a nice, rich, smooth tobacco. And then that sweet honey, not overly sweet, and then those little nuances, those little barely detectable of the blueberries, but that apple pie does kind of pop up because I sprayed it, and I'm like, that smells like apple pie. So that was a really nice additive to this fragrance. But if you're a big fan of tobacco like I am, you're gonna really dig this Happyland Signature for sure.
The next one I have to share is none other than Happyland Signature. This is my favorite from the line. You're getting a very soft, spicy, cozy fragrance. It's very hard to describe what's going on in this fragrance because it's so well blended. It's very cozy and very nice and very approachable. There are a lot of fragrances that have done this kind of thing, but this fragrance reminds me, honestly, has a little bit of resemblance to Guerlain Heritage. And I know some people love that fragrance. It's considered a classic and one of the best in some rotations of people. And I think that this fragrance is a very good importation, a very good kind of cousin to that fragrance. This one is more mature. I think it's more reserved, and is very nice and kind of modern at the same time. So I find this a perfect fragrance for fall situations where I want to be casual. I don't want to grab a lot of attention, but yet I do want to smell very nice and very cozy, very soft. This is a great fragrance for that kind of thing. It does have, again, all these fragrances have a professional, perhaps gentlemanly kind of vibe to them. But this one, again, is my favorite. Soft, cozy. If you liked Dolce & Gabbana, the one, and are a gentleman or more of an older, a great man out there, and you wanted something that's more for you, this is definitely a great one. This could be your date night fragrance. It's very soft, very nice, very approachable, so definitely check this one out.
It's called Happyland Signature. Now, I think that E.J. Wells, the man behind the company, is a bit of a fan of gourmands, and I think he's rather keen on the tobacco note in fragrances, and that's exactly what we get with Happyland Signature. So a totally different kettle of fish here. Same price for this 50ml, $64.99. They describe it on the website as nearly gourmand, and the notes are simply listed as tobacco, honey, blueberries and apple pie. So that's not, I'm not massively into gourmands all the time, but if you watch me regularly, you will know that I do have a little bit of a partiality to an outright sweetness bomb. This isn't quite that, but it is very sweet. So it has this really recognisable tobacco vanille from Tom Ford-esque tobacco note, that rich, pungent kind of tobacco mixed with sweetness. So there's definitely this kind of dried fruit accord that you also get in tobacco vanille, but it's much more of a gourmand leaning fragrance. It does smell a little bit like vanilla ice cream, blueberries, apple pie, that kind of vibe very much in there, and that really tempers the sort of the side of tobacco that might not be, you know, can be a bit too much. If you just had a really strong tobacco smell, that's not always pleasant, but it really balances out the tobacco leaf accord with this lovely creamy gourmand. It almost makes your mouth water, and you imagine like a blueberry pie with some vanilla custard or something on it. And I think, you know, really fun to wear, probably going to be more for the colder weather, but before long autumn will be upon us. And performance again, absolutely nuclear. I'll just show you the sprayer again just because it's such fun. Massive sprays, and really sticks on your clothes for a long time. Lovely kind of dry down. The development on both of these is not massive, they're quite linear, but I really like the smell at the beginning and the end. But this one definitely comes out quite strongly with the tobacco accord, and then I get perhaps more of that kind of sweet vanilla thing as the predominant thing as it dries down, which is no bad thing. Very, very pleasant indeed. So a really nice rich gourmand fragrance with great performance, and I think in a nice price range there of around about $1 per mil, is, or just a little bit over $1, a pound per mil, is about right for this fragrance house to come out with these. Great scents, great performance, really excited about it.